So we're currently in a finished space for a wonderful client, Colleen. We did a major renovation for her, and now today is the photo shoot day. It's an exciting day, so we get to see the final result of all the hard work that's gone over the last 6 months. And we'd like to sit down and just kind of talk with you about your experience.
Well, we started mid-February. Well, seven-month project. This all started because I grew up in Winnipeg, but I've lived in Alberta and the last 25 years in Vancouver. And so when I came back to Winnipeg, I thought, well, I'd like to move into a neighborhood that is interesting. Places to walk, things to see. And so we chose this neighborhood, and I looked at some beautiful older homes. But to me, they were just going to be headaches and problems, so I bought a new build. Well, lo and behold, there was a leak in a bathroom here, and that's how it all started. I called Grindstone because they were recommended to me by a good friend who had had a wonderful experience twice with you, upstairs and they're downstairs. So when the team came in, one of the company's owners said, I proposed some ideas, and he said, well, have you ever thought of? And I said, well, no, but I am now. So one thing led to another. From one leak in one bathroom, there were you didn't touch the living room, and that was it. The living room is the only space on the main and second levels that you didn't touch. And so it's been a fabulous experience. It really has. It's been,
so glad.
There's been a lot of headache and heartache too, but it's been, on the whole, I would do it again in the blink of an eye.
Oh, that's so good to hear. That makes me so happy to hear that.
Well, everybody on the team became friends. I mean, everybody who came here said, how can we make this easy for you? How can we fulfill your vision? I know the designer that we worked with, this was way outside her usual choices.
Yeah.
And I just said, this is really what I want. And she said, well, okay. And I think she's happy with it.
100%.
And it's really become something that that I really felt good about. And the design, the execution, it was fantastic. It was just great. And there was always an answer to a question. Always somebody was here to fix something that I was concerned about. There was always, the project manager, Curtis, always had an answer for me, or would come and take a look, or, make sure that it was running smoothly. And there were hiccups along the way, but everything was looked after. Everything was,
That's so good to hear.
Yeah, and it was an adventure.
Definitely.
It was an adventure. This is not for the faint of heart. If one wants to have a big reno like this, maybe fixing the bathtub leak would have been fine. But it was great. It was great. I had so much fun, and I felt listened to. I felt my ideas were valid.
Amazing.
I don't know what you said back in the office, but it doesn't matter because you listened to me, and it was great. Can't say enough.
Oh, that makes me so happy. We're so glad to hear that, because that's exactly what we want to give our clients, is that type of experience. And honestly, you became family to us.
Well, we did. We learned about each other's kids. We learned about, years past. We learned about, brought us to where we are today. Totally. And it was great. Rachel in particular it's always really exciting to work with a talented, successful, capable woman. And I felt we were partners in this, really, but very much so. And my daughter has certain educational challenges and learning issues, and Rachel and the team were just so accommodating to my daughter and very patient and generous. And that wasn't always easy. I wasn't always very patient and generous, and they were fantastic. But I always felt you gave me you didn't gloss over any problem. You always, let's sit down, let's talk about this. For example, we were at the home show, a friend and myself were at the home show, just looking around, and we went to the booth. And while we were there was a design problem with the kitchen. So in the middle of the home show, with potential clients coming and going and all this hubbub, people just stopped, and we drew out exactly what we were going to do. We were going to do to solve the problem. People could see you in action, right?
Totally.
The problem
solving on the spot.
Yeah. So we'll do that at every home show. We'll come and I'll come up with, did you know that? Anyway, it was very spontaneous, but it worked, and that's what we went with.
It was great. I'm so glad that we were able to do it right then and there. And it was collective because it was also Travis from the millwork team and me and Alicia and you and Mavis, and we all talked about it, and it was perfect timing because we were all together.
And you were upset that the problem had come up and that she can't open her fridge and her oven at the same time.
That's obviously a problem.
Well, a problem for the cook and the maid, but anyway. So let's solve the problem now. Let's not make an appointment for tomorrow or next week. Let's solve the problem. And you did.
Yeah, it was great.
To my great happiness, it was really done well. So.
I'm so glad.
And I know that term, thinking outside the box, is so overused. However, there were all sorts of alternative decisions or ideas, pathways to go down. And once I think you realized that I was open to, well, different ideas or something a little more colorful or a little more avant-garde, not too, expected, then we went with it, and I think everybody enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed it. You found the people for, my window design, and
that was collaborative too.
Yep.
Because you had heard good things about this company, and we actually were looking for a good company to work with, like the stained glass, and they were phenomenal, like amazing. From us going down there and designing it, very sentimental piece, to seeing it be installed, like it's pretty amazing.
The two windows in the door, it's something that I had designed, my husband and I had designed in Vancouver for our studio, our home. We were both in the performing arts and teach singing, and our whole life has been in opera and musical theater. So when we designed this in Vancouver, when we left, you can't really take windows with you. So when we came here, I thought, well, when this opportunity came up to build this beautiful room, you were very open to have that, even though it doesn't look like, not a lot of people would. I know when I said I wanted stained glass, I think you had ideas of, birds and flowers and the sun coming up over the mountain or something like that. And
it turned out beautiful.
It's very personal, but I think it's also very subtle, so I think anybody would.
Definitely. Like, I love it. I think it's just such a great way to pull the whole room together.
I know when Rebecca was here just now, she's the realtor who sold me this house. She just said, well, now, what are your plans? I said, to live in it and enjoy it for some time. But, she was, every decision that you made, every decision that I think that we made together have been good ones. I can't think of one thing that didn't go, if not exactly as I had thought it would, to exceeding my expectations.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
And everybody works so hard in that company. If you go down to the shop, which is behind the offices, it's a beehive of activity. People are working there. Maybe they see me coming, I don't know, and they bring out their hammers and their saws. Let's quickly look like we're busy, right? I used to do that when I worked in a shop when I was a teenager. Quick, dust the counter. But everybody's got a vested, I don't know how you've set up your company, but everybody seems to have a vested interest in it, or certainly a commitment.
Definitely.
To the vision that these guys have had.
100%.
Yeah, I think so. And everybody gets along, I think, and everybody has a very congenial attitude.
It's so nice to hear.
I know my friend was very happy too because she recommended you. And I know when a couple of things were, I said, oh, this has happened and that's happened. She said, oh no. And she felt responsible. But nothing was, it all amazingly smoothly, for a massive renovation. I know you've done bigger ones. But I think
this was big. It was very big because we were, like you said, touched almost every inch of your home, main and second floor. It was a big undertaking, and like revamping this entire space was like pretty massive.
Well, you built a whole room, took away a wall. They don't know it yet, but I think next year will be the basement and the living room. Because why not, right? Why stop now? Exactly, we're on a roll.
How do you feel like it's impacted your everyday living now that you've done this?
Well, I look at it and I think I have to pinch myself that this is real, that my vision has come to fruition. It has come to what I had hoped. It's just like I hoped, or better. It's what I had dreamed of. So we built a home in Vancouver. So building a home was not new to me. And then we did a major renovation there. And my late husband acted as the general contractor for that, which was not a good idea. It took about 5 times longer and cost about 10 times more than it needed to. Impacted my life. One thing that everybody did was when we started this, my use of the downstairs changed. There was an office that the original builder, had imagined as an office, I suppose, which I was making into a teaching studio. And I had a piano in there and my music, but it was very small. And when you're working with a student, so we transformed Grindstone, instead of taking a wall down, added a wall and a door and created a new teaching studio for me on the main floor with French doors that open out onto a new 3-season room and a new door into the powder room so students can safely come to the studio, have a singing lesson. I have spots. Singing lessons and sing without impacting anything that's going on in the rest of the house. So people can be, you can throw a party in there and I can be working. So Grindstone listened to me and said, okay, so if this is your vision, how do you see using this room? So that's really impacted my life. Now I can teach, I can work from home. It's exactly what I wanted. So it's worked very, very well. I love the neighborhood. I love the walkability of it. I enjoy all the friends I've made
Totally.
with you guys. And so, yeah, it's really impacted my life. And I think I'll see it more now that it's done. I think I have to live in it for a while and just
enjoy it.
Breathe.
Totally. Yeah. It's a huge undertaking to go through a massive renovation.
And then when I make a point of sitting in a different chair every morning when I have coffee so I can see my house from a different viewpoint. And it's astounding. Everybody should do that in their home. If you always sit in one chair, your chair, change it up a little and you will be amazed at how it just freshens your
perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt.
Like the other day when I came over and you were sitting in the front entry of the chair, I'm like, this is perfect.
Because the foyer is now a room. With those doors that close and the beautiful, I had always envisioned that diamond floor. And when I said that to Stephanie, her designer, she said, well, of course, then have it. I think it was at that moment I thought, oh, of course, have it. I can just have what I want. So I'd like this and this. Anyway, and then the house was built with a really overly large mudroom and a breezeway. So we've turned the breezeway into the mudroom, which makes sense because it's right off the garage, and turned the huge mudroom into a beautiful laundry room, main floor laundry.
It's beautiful.
It is.
So much storage.
And then, what's almost all full, and then an awkward spot where the washer and dryer had been before is now a wonderful linen closet.
Yes, which made total sense. Remember trying to open the washer dryer?
Oh, I couldn't open my washer and dryer. And clearly a man designed this house because, unless you do the laundry at your house, I don't know. Not in my experience.
I know you had company visit recently. What have your friends and family thought of the renovation?
Well, I told my sister-in-law when she came, they visited from Montreal, that nobody had touched the kitchen yet. They were ready for her because she's quite a cook and baker. She said, but I'm on holidays. I didn't want to cook and bake. But she took one look at that beautiful oven and she just said, oh, what would you like for dinner? So it was wonderful. So she cooked, she baked, it was great. Friends have come in and just been quite astounded. Quite astounded. First of all, that beautiful foyer when you walk in and the doors, the French doors, part of a dream I've always had. And then to just such an entrance into the living room. And I've always wanted cabinets to go to the ceiling, and that was done beautifully. And I don't think there's anything in this house, what do you think, that's been designed that wouldn't appeal to somebody else if I
definitely
should sell this house?
100%. It's like exquisite. I think
so
it's
too.
just beautiful. And it also, like, I feel like, yes, it will appeal to other people, but I love that you didn't shy away from doing things for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like you said, the wallpaper, the flooring that you loved, like all those little details. I'm just so glad that you were like, this is what I want.
You can't design something then you're flipping houses. I mean, then you're doing a spec house. You can't do it thinking, oh, well, we will sell this house. Well, no, what about today and tomorrow? I mean, you've got to live in it and you've got to love it.
100%.
And that's what we did. We designed a home. Nothing is too outrageous.
No, it's very beautiful.
but I think it's quite different and it's quite unique.
Definitely. Your bathroom's I've said it time and time again, but it's my favorite bathroom.
The bathroom is unique, and it's a pleasure to walk in there in the mornings or at night. It's nice.
It's beautiful.
It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. And they knew I loved Art Deco as a time period as far as design is concerned, and so we went with it. Not everything is, but you can't in a home. But you know, it's serious, but it's frivolous, and it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. Mm-hmm. And the idea too is to have this home open to people to come for recitals, concerts, and I think that we've made it so that anybody can be anywhere in the house, enjoy the music that's happening in the living room, enjoy the concerts, the recitals, and be able to enjoy the home. It's not restrictive anywhere.
Definitely. It's like the perfect entertaining home.
Yeah. Well, so my idea is to have concerts.
Yes.
Home concerts, and with my students, with other students, and young professionals, and we'll see where that goes. But I think it's a perfect home for that. So
awesome.
If you're looking to renovate your home, and you know what, you've made it as really as painless as you possibly could.
Oh, thank you. We try our best.
I only went through a couple of bottles of extra strength Advil, just a couple.
It's like just a couple.
That's right.
Well, thank you, Colleen, for everything. It's been such a pleasure, and for taking the time to talk with us today. And today has just been wonderful, just seeing the finished space and being with you, and you letting us into your home, and it's been just great.